back at Rocketown today with one of the guys from Set to Stun.
Hello, my name is Damien. I'm from Set to Stun.
Well, that makes it easy on me.
Yeah, sure.
So, the question that we tend to ask a lot is, what is the weirdest thing you've ever seen on a drive?
I don't know. That question's like kind of out of left field. I have no idea, actually. Most of the time, I spend in the front seat sleeping, pretending to navigate. But man, I can't think of anything straight. Okay, so we were passing through Texas. This is just recently, so that's kind of what came to mind. And we ended up taking a detour because I was driving, so naturally I wasn't paying attention. Got redirected, ended up in like this town straight out of like House of Wax, right? And we're driving through this little town, and there's literally not a soul in sight. Like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, nobody in sight, right? And we're like, okay, where are the people in this town? Where are the cars? Where's everything? And like, we drove through it. It was like a couple mile stretch, didn't see a single soul. And then we are on the outside of this town, and there's like a bunch of cows and longhorns and stuff. And there's like a bucket with a pair of boots sticking out. I wasn't sure if legs were attached to them.
You weren't gonna
Didn't care to find out. So that's the
Reminds
first
me
thing
of,
that comes to mind.
that lake that people's feet wash up in. Have you ever heard of that?
Never heard of that.
I can't remember where it is because I listen to too many urban legends.
Okay.
But, I mean, that was not an urban legend. It's real. It actually happened. But.
Well, these feet had cowboy boots on them. So, yeah.
Are you a horror movie fan?
Sure. I'm a movie fan in general. Huge on the cinema. Yeah, we were like highly influenced by movies and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So do you guys do a lot of like concept or story writing through your songs?
Yes, ma'am. Our album, Set to Stun and the Desperado Undead, is a concept album based on characters that we've created and stuff like that. And so,
throughout your like entire discography, which song to you has meant the most for you?
they all mean a lot to me. I mean, the most recent song that Stariha 2, the Desperado Undead, is very important to me because it has a lot to do with our fan base. It almost didn't make the album. We wrote it pretty much a day before we went in the studio, ended up recording the whole album, and then we were like, we have to record this. So we had to do an entirely separate day of tracking for that song. I had no lyrics written for it. The entire album was done, and I was like, and that's not natural, like for me. Like there's lyrics are usually written just along with the song or shortly after. And this song is like a, 6-7 minute song and had no lyrics, so we were just waiting on that. And I was going through a very trying period. And anyway, so that song definitely lyrically, it just came together all out of nowhere. And that song probably means the most to me this far into our musical career, professional.
Speaking of your fans, have you ever had like any crazy stalker fans?
Well, the thing about our fans is they're super diehard. So they're down, they resonate with the same passion and the same emotion that I do. And so it's like we'll play to a crowd of 100 people, maybe 10 of them will understand what we're doing. But those 10, they're guaranteed to be there for the rest of our lives, for the rest of our musical career, for the rest of whatever we're going through, they're going to be there. I make it a point at our shows to meet fans, to meet people, to connect with them not only on stage but afterwards, remember their names and develop relationships, you know what I mean? Because ultimately I only am afforded to do what I do because of them, so I'm super humble to like meet people. We do have very crazy hardcore diehard fans, but I wouldn't say like, oh, they're nutso or be condescending like that, because I'm looking in a mirror when I see them, and a lot of them like they vibe with the lyrics and the lyricism and the music and stuff like that. And so I just feel like deeply connected to these people when we play shows and when we meet them. Yeah.
That is a very surprising answer. Most bands, I think a lot of bands kind of look at their fans as people that are annoying or,
Sure.
things that are just there.
Yeah.
So to see something that's grateful for their fans is amazing. We don't see that a lot.
Well, it's like it's easy to fall into that, and I'm not going to stand here all on a pedestal and stuff or my high horse. Like, it's easy to fall into that. It's tiring, like after this we're going to play this show and jump in the van, we got to drive 12 hours just to make load in, you know what I mean? So it's like it gets trying. Not all the time do you want to get out of the van and sit at the merch table or talk to people. Sometimes you just want to be on your own, and but I make it a point. I make it a point not to fall into that, you know what I mean? And to be like super appreciative, and it keeps me grounded and keeps me humble, you know? And ultimately, like, that's what I want. I want to grow as a person when I'm out here and not just grow as a band. And I think that is something that I am deeply concerned with falling out of. And so I make it a point. I don't care how tired I am. I'm out there remembering people's names and I'm getting to know them. So yeah, but you know, it's sorry. I'll keep talking,
okay.
But no, it's hard. It's easy to fall into that.
I'd rather have somebody that talks way too much than the people that give like one-word answers to things. Yeah. So how long have you guys been touring now?
We've been touring for probably the past 3 years. We've been a band for, so it's me and then my brother playing bass, and then our drummer is our best friend of like 17 years. So we grew up and we learned our instruments together.
Oh, that's really neat.
So we've been playing music together since we were 11 years old, right? And then we've been a band like professionally probably the last 10 years. And then I want to say it's probably more than 3 years. The last 3 years have been like solid touring. And then before that, it was like maybe one tour every so-and-so. So maybe over the last 5 years, we've been like on the road kind of doing our thing. Yeah.
Have you had any bad tour nightmares?
Tour nightmares, like, what do you mean?
Like the bus breaking down on the middle of the highway,
sure.
things like that.
Yeah, we've had our share of shit storms and like craziness. Yeah, we've had the van break down. You know, we've been fortunate enough not to like have our stuff stolen. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, and then this happened and the AC wasn't working, you know, because like, dude, things could be so much worse. And
You don't want to say that on our interviews. We did an interview with Ekoblack recently, and their guitarist was saying, I'm so grateful I haven't had my stuff stolen. Next night, he finally had something stolen.
Sure.
It's like knock on wood type of thing.
Right. Okay, so we'll see. I'll do the second interview when the van gets
We'll know
stolen,
then,
right?
yeah.
Okay, cool. But those guys, Northern Ghost, that we're on tour with right now, they're touring, and they have no air conditioning, and so it's like there's nothing.
In
that
June, in the South.
Oh my goodness! And I'm like, there's nothing I can say that could be worse than that. You know what I mean? So it's like, but yeah, we, our first tour ever, we didn't have a trailer. We just took out the back 2 seats and just put all our equipment there. And we're a 3-piece, but we had 2 crews, so it was 5 of us sleeping on 2 benches. But that was in the winter, so it was like, it was okay, it was tolerable, you know what I mean? But yeah, we've done tours where like we're waiting on our merch. Our merch is supposed to be there at the first show, and we do the entire tour, and then the merch gets there on the last show. And that's basically our source of income, you know what I mean? Like, we took a few tours where we took $0 because it's like, we get paid $0 a night, but that wasn't really what it was about for us. We just there's a lot of people who wanted to see us in different regions and stuff like that. And we're like, dude, well, I'll fund it myself, and get us out there. But like those kind of things, they really get you when like, you're away from your family and stuff. And like the only avenue of income is merchandise. We don't have it.
I think one time one of the guys from It Priest said that their income is 70% their merch sales.
Yeah, that's probably an accurate statistic. Yeah, I think more so for us. We get paid dog shit.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize that. Like, I see people when they get their merch stolen and everything. And, like, I don't get when merch gets stolen because who else is going to go sell somebody else's band stuff? Same thing with, like, guitars. Like, if somebody's guitar shows up on eBay, it's stolen,
Right. Yeah, so, merchandise is definitely, like, how we make our money on the road. And we've never, not never, but, we've never made it like we go on the road to make money. No, we go on the road to make relationships and meet people, and kind of it keeps us fueled. It's like going to the armory and getting more ammo, coming out here and like meeting those kids that they were like, you got me through this tough time, or you got me through like my parents' divorce, or, my pregnancy, or whatever it was, anything like that. At least for me, speaking personally as the lyricist and as the front man. But that's what gets me. That's what keeps me going, you know what I mean? And I go home and I work, I'm not a rock star, I'm nothing like that. I go home and I work, I have my 2 kids, and I spend as much time with them as I can. And then out here I have my other family, so it's like, I'm lucky to have the support system that I do have. And so we've never really been motivated by money or success in those metrics. So
what's your hometown?
Los Angeles.
Really?
Yeah.
I was expecting you to tell me like the East Coast or something, because that's
no.
Like, most bands come from the East Coast these days.
Yeah, Los Angeles, born and raised. I'm trying to get out of there though. You know, nothing against my hometown or anything like that, but I've just like seen the rest of the country, and I'm like, I'm in love with it. So we'll see.
Like, the scene in Los Angeles is really rough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's super saturated with a lot of musicians, and everybody's trying to come up and stuff. But really, like what I've come to realize in traveling so much is that there is not a sense of community in Los Angeles like there is in other parts of the United States. And so that is super important to me.
Well, down here we've been seeing like a few of the older musicians that lived in LA for years are moving here because they want to get away from it all, but they're so stuck in the LA mentality that they don't know how to fit in the South, you know?
Right.
Yeah, it's nice to meet. That still shocks me. It's so nice to meet somebody that's very down to earth from the West Coast.
Well, thank you. I take that as a compliment.
All right. So, any last words or statements you'd like to leave with your fans?
Just keep coming to our shows, and we'll keep coming out here. You know, we basically come out here for you guys, and I mean that sincerely. There's a lot of you that share your story with me, and I'm just like, I carry that with me. I carry it with me on my heart. I carry it with me everywhere that I go. Yeah, if there's anything that, you know, I want to, you guys message me on Instagram or whatever you guys do, I try to make contact. Please do not hesitate to come up and talk to me. Or if I'm in the van, come and drag me out, because that's my goal, you know, like, but anyway, just keep coming out. Set this done. We're going to be touring for the rest of this year. We'll be back in the studio. We've got a bunch of songs written that we're looking forward to getting down on CD and stuff. And yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it.
All right, thank you.
All right.
How can you miss someone you never met? I cringe thinking about the wasted breath, the wasted youth I wasted on you. How can you miss someone so quick to forget? Illogical and separate.